tube did fire. He needs someone to be...
As an emergency medicine doctor and a former army officer, I'm really fascinated to learn about the challenges faced by frontline war medicine a century ago. During World War I, we saw devastating injuries caused by gunshots, shrapnel and poisonous gas, but one of the major killers of the time was infection, and it always had been. Misconceptions about how to successfully treat and manage war wounds had often led to doing more harm than good. Today, I have an amazing opportunity to look at original World War I research into infection at the Army Medical Services Archive. There's all sorts of information about the treatment of common infections such as trench foot, a really nasty fungal infection caused by cold, damp and unclean conditions. One of the things that you realise when you start looking into this area is that many of the problems that were being faced were linked with real practical situations. Take, for example, the trenches. They were dug mainly in France on farmland. And what does farmland have? Soil enriched in manure. So imagine that, dirty wounds, open wounds, contaminated by manure and in the soil. So once they'd identified this, they could really work towards finding a solution to deal with the problem. One of the specific infections caused by the bacteria in manure was gas gangrene, which frequently resulted in amputation and sometimes loss of life. A solution was needed. For me, one of the most important figures in World War I medicine was the British bacteriologist Almroth Wright. Now, he proposed revolutionary methods in how to treat war wounds, and his research was dedicated to that. The thing about war, unfortunate and tragic though it is, it forces medical research to accelerate through need, but it also provides a huge number of subjects to research with. Wright was vigorously opposed to the traditional method at the time of pouring antiseptic into a wound and then closing it up. His research from these vast number of case studies from the battlefields of Europe was vital in persuading his peers that his approach was the way ahead. His method suggested that wounds would be opened, all foreign bodies removed, a wide bore drainage tube inserted, and a sterile hypertonic 5% saline solution be used to promote the flow of lymph. Basically, what he was saying was get rid of all the shrapnel, get rid of all the grubby bits of French soil, give it a really good clean, and then leave the wound open, and then allow the body's natural healing process to work. And what I find really interesting is that, to me, reading that now, as a doctor today, it seems so obvious. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. And I know there are things that we are doing today, maybe that doctors in the future will go, oh, I can't believe they were doing that. Well, I am kind of having that moment now with the techniques that were originally being used by the surgeons until Wright pushed forward the frontiers of medicine with his research. Because of the resistance to Wright's research, it wasn't until after the war that his theory on wound cleaning was fully adopted. In World War II, they contributed significantly to the lower rates of infection and amputation. Wright's methods on wound cleaning are one of the great medical legacies of World War I.